Well, everybody wants to be green these days, and owning an antique like this joint stool will put you right up there with the greenest of the green. It was made between about 1580 and 1600, so it's 300, 400 years old now. And there's a very good chance that the oak it was made from was also 300 or 400 years old. So this bit of wood, probably, quite probably, 800 years old. Now that's an efficient and responsible use of a natural resource. It's as sturdy as the day it was made. And there's no reason that it shouldn't last another 400 years. So we're talking about using a bit of wood to make something that will last 800 or 1,000 years. And it's all wood. There's not a bit of metal in it, not a nail, not a single use of fossil fuel in making it. And how was it made? All by hand. The machine never got near it. The only energy used to make it was human energy. Totally renewable. Though as we get older, we might not always feel so confident about that. And how do we know it was handmade? There are many things that tell us, but let's just look at one, a single joint. A mortise and tenon joint, that's what it's called. There's a tongue on each end of this stretcher that's called the tenon. It goes into a slot in the blocks on the end of each leg, and the slot is called the mortise, and then it's pegged to hold it in. Look at this peg. You can see it was whittled by hand. You can see the knife marks on it if you look closely enough. It's not exactly round, it's not exactly square, it was not made by a machine, like a dowel. Now look at the tenon. Where the wood shrunk here, where it goes into the mortise, you can see the tenon is flush with the inside edge of the stretcher. The guy only had to cut one edge of the tenon. As a result, it's not central on the stretcher. All the tenons are like this, they're not centred. That's good for a hand worker, but it's a big problem for a machine. Now the tenons at each end of this stretcher are reversed, which means that the machine would have to be reset to cut the one on the second end. Machine cut tenons are always central, so that the machine can just cut them one after the other, one after the other. That's what machines like to do. And there's just one other thing about this stool. We'll never know who first owned it, but I'm pretty sure I can tell you one thing about him. He lived near enough within the shade of the tree that this stool was made from. It wasn't shipped halfway around the world. It wasn't trucked the length of the interstate. At the most, a man or a horse moved it from where it was grown to where it was used. Just think, sustainable, renewable, local. Green, hey? That's another good reason to bring antiques into your life.